When Brian and I were on the hunt for a ranch, what motivated us was actually the quest to find the perfect ground beef. Who's excited for a burger?
Me. This looks delicious.
Cheers, girls. Good day roping.
Good job.
Good day eating. I'm Mary Heffernan, and this is my husband, Brian. In 2014, we traded busy city living for a life on the ranch, where we're committed to raising the finest quality meats, the old-fashioned way. And yes, there really are 5 Marys. This is Raised on the Ranch.
We spend a lot of time out with our animals at 5 Marys. We check them every day, and so why don't you come along and do that with us today?
We raise Black Angus cattle, and we have a couple different groups on the ranch. Our mother cows calve every fall, so we are a fall calving operation, and their calves now are, what, about 7 months old?
Yeah, 6, 7 months old.
Almost ready for weaning.
And weaning is essentially the calves are big enough that they can eat grass and do well on their own.
Mamas are ready to kick them out.
They are very much ready.
Once we take our weaned calves, we raise them till finish, which is different than a lot of operations. Typically, in a cattle operation, different ranches and different hands are raising the cattle all along the way. So they go from where they are born to where they're weaned, and then they're gonna go to finishing, to slaughter, to distributors, to packers, before they're finally on the grocery store shelves. So what we do here is all of that from start to finish. We're really thoughtful about how we breed and raise our cattle.
Our harvest operation is actually right here on the ranch, which is a pretty unique thing to have cattle go from the ranch to the harvest facility without ever having to get in a trailer.
In the old days, there used to be a butcher shop in every downtown on Main Street, and that has really changed. There are so few opportunities to harvest and sell beef under USDA inspection.
On a small scale.
On a small scale.
At this stage of the process, these are our market cattle behind us. These are all cattle that are part of our meat program. Our goal at this point in the process is to get them a little bit bigger and have them put on fat and really fill out. We supplement them with a ration that includes steam flake barley. They get that, a free choice between the grass that we're standing on here and the steam flake barley.
Cows that are only on grass, grass-fed and grass-finished, depending on the time of year, you know, it's not lush green grass all year long. And they don't get that marbling, they don't get that flavor. And the steam flaked barley does a fantastic job of giving a marbling, a really nice, pure, clean white fat, and a tenderness that, coupled with our dry aging, is really hard to find.
So in addition to beef, we also raise pigs here at 5 Marys. These are all pasture-raised pigs. Berkshire is the breed of the pigs.
Berkshire pigs are the best quality pork in our opinion. They make really great pork chops. They live on these green grass fields. Pigs are not grazers. They cannot live on grass alone. So we have a carefully formulated pig feed that gives them all the protein that they need.
Yeah, to raise really good meat, you have to really focus on nutrition. And we work with a swine nutritionist who formulates a ration, a non-GMO ration for us. And different rations get fed at different stages of a pig's life cycle. All right, we're here at ground zero for pigging operations at 5 Marys. All these piglets behind me here have been born in the last few weeks. We call this group lactation. And pigs aren't very picky about which pigs they nurse or which pigs they nurse from. So it's kind of a free-for-all out here.
It's a very friendly commune.
Yeah.
With some mama pigs and lots of piglets.
That's right. These pigs that are born here, we'll raise them here, finish them here so they get good and fat at the right time, and then we'll harvest them here on the ranch, all under USDA inspection, and we'll put them into our meat program and make pork chops and sausage and bacon out of them at our butchery in town. Okay, we've just driven through and shown you our Black Angus cattle and our Berkshire pigs. Mary's going to tell you a little bit about these other creatures that are behind me.
We like to give our customers the variety, so we have beef, we have pork, and we have lamb. A lot of Americans don't like lamb, they either had a bad experience with bad lamb or mutton and mint jelly when they were younger. But really good lamb is a huge difference from whatever you had that you tried and you didn't like.
They're all grass finished, grass raised their entire lives. They're harvested here, so we can really optimize for the best cuts of lamb.
You ready to go make some dinner?
Let's go do it.
We're up here at camp. Brian and I built this camp structure a couple years after we moved here so that we could entertain on the ranch and cook outside, one of our favorite things to do. I've got some 5 Marys burgers here I'm gonna make tonight, and my favorite bacon marmalade I'm gonna show you how to make, as well as a tomato jam. So when Brian and I first were on the hunt for a ranch, what motivated us was actually the quest to find the perfect ground beef. We had restaurants in the Bay Area. We lived in Silicon Valley. We had a very busy, bustling life in the suburbs, in the city. We both come from families in the agricultural world, and we knew that raising great beef isn't easy. We also knew that dry aging was gonna be really important. So that's what we've created, and our burger is kind of our standout. It's kind of our signature. And all you need to put on them is 5 Mary spice rub. It's got some really good sea salt, some rosemary, thyme, red pepper flakes, and some really good black pepper. Okay, burgers are seasoned and will go on the grill. I like to get these prepped early and then prep my bacon marmalade. To make this bacon marmalade, I love to start with our bacon ends and pieces. So traditionally you think of bacon in those nice, beautiful strips, but not all bacon comes out that way. After we smoke our pork bellies, the ends of the pork bellies don't make perfectly sliced bacon. But we always make sure that we use the whole animal and don't let any parts go to waste. So those ends come out in what we call our bacon ends and pieces. So I'm gonna just dice these up a little bit more, and you could throw these in the pan even if you didn't chop them this fine, but it'll make the process go a little faster if they're diced up nicely. To make this bacon marmalade, you wanna get a hot skillet. I always like to get my skillets really hot before I add anything. It helps not to stick. And usually I'd put a little butter, oil, or fat, but guess what? We're putting bacon ends in here, so no fat needed. And you can leave these alone to cook for a few minutes, but try to keep an eye on them because you don't really want them to burn. One of the biggest misconceptions that we see with pork is that it has to be cooked all the way through. That is not true. When you have really good pork, especially these heritage breeds that grow a little slower and have a really good quality meat, you don't want to overcook your pork. You want it to be a little bit pink inside and to keep that juiciness. And that's exactly what we have with these smoked bacon ends. These look perfectly cooked. I'm going to bring in a second pan with a paper towel to catch some of the drippings and use a slotted spoon to transfer them over here to let them rest while I cook the rest of the ingredients up in the same pan. I like to leave about 3 tablespoons of that yummy bacon fat in here. It's kind of personal preference, not too much, not too little, but I'll spoon a little bit out and leave plenty to coat the pan so I can throw in my diced onions and saute these until they're soft and maybe a little bit brown. I'm gonna add my minced garlic and I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients. So my coffee is gonna go in here, apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, a little brown sugar, and I'm gonna turn my heat down and mix this together, letting it simmer. I'll add my bacon back in, keep my heat on low, and let this simmer for about 25 minutes for all these flavors to combine before I put it in my food processor for the final step in the bacon marmalade. All right, while this simmers down, we're gonna make our tomato jam. This is a fantastic recipe when tomatoes are in season. First, get your pan really hot, add some olive oil and a few thinly sliced cloves of garlic. Then I'm gonna add my tomatoes. Don't even need to slice them, add them right to the pan. A little bit of salt in here. And then I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of water so that when I cover this and it really starts to heat, it'll steam those tomatoes a little bit. So I'm gonna let this simmer. I'll check on my bacon marmalade over here that it's cooking up beautifully and ready for the food processor. I take the bacon marmalade off heat and let it cool for a little bit before I put it in my food processor. Yum, it already smells so delicious. And then we're just gonna pulse this on medium until it kind of has the consistency of a thick jam. Okay, I think our bacon marmalade is ready. It smells delicious. And this is great to serve right away. You can also leave it in the fridge for up to a week and those flavors just kind of intensify. Let's check on our tomatoes. Yum, they smell delicious. So they've been simmering covered for 15 minutes. You can see the tomatoes have kind of popped and softened. The whole thing is very fragrant. And now we're just gonna stir on medium heat for another 10 minutes to let them continue to simmer, but uncovered. Now that the tomatoes are cooked down, I'm gonna add a little white vinegar and some sugar. If you want it a little extra spicy, which I usually do, you can add a little bit of red pepper flakes. Now I'm gonna transfer it into a bowl. If I'm doing a burger bar for a crowd, say we're having some friends over for 4th of July, I might make this jam a few days before and keep it in the fridge because it can be good for up to a week if it's stored in an airtight container. Ready to grill some burgers?
Let's
Kids
do
just
it.
finished roping. I think they're heading up right now. Got these seasoned earlier. This is a grill we actually got the year we got married, which is a really long time ago now, right? 2006. But this is kind of a typical Santa Maria grill, right?
Yep.
All right, let's get those grilling. I'm gonna toast these buns up. We put a little butter on them already. Put them on the cool side of the grill so we've got more time to get them warm and a little char. All right, you think they're ready for some cheese?
I'm gonna bring them up a little bit more.
Okay.
And you can drop a little cheese on them there.
All right. Burgers looking done.
Looking good.
Girls ready for some burgers? Come on over, we're ready for dinner. All right, napkins on laps and let's go.
She's got everything.
Yeah, go for it. Your favorite?
I didn't.
Maisie did.
But
Tess, can you pass that tray over there?
do my mouth.
Thank you,
Avocado?
Tessa.
I didn't even see those.
Yeah. Did you guys try this bacon marmalade? For more details on the recipes and products featured in this episode, see below or visit food52.com. Join us in 2 weeks for an all-new episode of Raised on the Ranch. Well, cheers, girls.